May the Force be with me.
It's the Forciest. Somehow Palpatine returned. Can you imagine if we started our episode that way? For real. Somehow, a channel named after a podunk planet in the outer rim of a make-believe galaxy squeezed out a clean 30 on said planet. Last week, we detailed Revan's romp through the Dune Sea into a Tuscan village, blew up a crate dragon, found his star map, and left a bunch of bodies left to bake in the twin suns of Tatooine. Welcome to Talk About Tatooine. I'm Andrew.
I'm Nathan.
And we are twin brothers here to bring you what's new in nerddom and give colorful commentary on our favorite subjects. Welcome to our cantina. Grab a drink and settle in as we set course for realities beyond our own.
Welcome everyone to episode 129. Today's recording date is September 23rd, and this episode will be released on Monday, September 29th. Sorry, didn't have that pulled up. We're recording on a Tuesday, which is weird. But Andrew's being super flexible, and I really appreciate that. I just want to put my YouTube manners out front and center. Please make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure to grab your fursuit and lightsaber, because we're going to climb some trees today. And statistically, that 1 to 2 new viewers is gone by this point. So super happy you guys stayed by. We're going to learn about some new Wookiee slurs, find some inspiration for the Darksaber, not actual inspiration, but, you know, Star Wars tends to repeat itself in themes, and learn that Mandalorians continue to pester the galaxy.
I would just like to point out to our viewers, I did not sign off on the fursuit comment.
So he is the editor, so he does have executive orders over everything, but it is more work for him to just, like, chop my speech up, and if I make it annoying enough, he can't really do anything about it.
If everything I say is annoying, you can't delete it.
Everything he said was a slur.
No. Oh, no.
Challenge accepted.
Last week, we talked a little bit about speedrunning in KOTOR, so I was actually a little bit curious, and I looked up speedruns for KOTOR, because we had mentioned, like, hey, how long does it take you to get through Terrace? And we said, I don't know, somebody could do it in, like, maybe an hour or two, like, if they were really doing it. No, the fastest speedrun for KOTOR, Knights of the Old Republic, the game made in 2003, the entire thing, 18 minutes, 2 seconds, and 332 milliseconds. 18 minutes.
I don't actually understand how that is possible. Is this including load times?
Yes, it is. So their load times are basically instantaneous, and they use just a fistful of exploits to get through it. One of the things I saw him do, because I actually watched one of his speedruns on a channel called Games Done Quick. They're actually a charity live stream. They bring people on who do speedruns, and they donate to really cool causes. It's super fun. And so I watched this guy complete a run of KOTOR in 40 minutes, and it still was insane. One of the big things he did, it was actually the guy who's the number one spot. It was Chaos Drifter. And the thing he did a ton was, it was called save skipping. So essentially he would spam the quick save button. So he would, like, open his menu, scroll over to the save thing, hit the save button, and he would do this like multiple times a second. And every time he did this, if you scroll your mouse wheel, you move forward faster than you would normally. And so with this, he skipped combat, he skipped dialogue, he didn't even pick up Mission and Zalbar underneath Terrace. He just skipped it. And that's the whole thing. It's like you play the game not the way it's necessarily intended, but you find every single exploit and glitch. You find every fake wall you can, and you walk right through it. It's magical. It's so fun to watch. It is a different level of preparedness to gaming than I've ever seen in my whole life. It's so fun. If you guys watch speedruns, like, let me know in the comments what your favorite speedrun down is, and I'll check it out. I'll add it to my ongoing YouTube watch list.
Insane. Absolutely insane.
I think the biggest thing that, like, flabbergasts me is just the idea of, like, people playing a game and just running past the enemy NPCs. I'm like, oh, actually, you're supposed to fight them.
You can't
Sir?
just run past everybody
Sir?
like that.
One of the other things I wanted to talk about, Star Wars has actually come out with a new galaxy map. So the StarWars.com databank has a new galaxy map. There's a ton of stuff on there that I found really interesting. First off, it is so full of planets. The thing I don't like about it is it's not searchable. That makes it difficult to find the planet that you're looking for.
That's a terrible feature to not have a search bar.
So thankfully, the folks over at Wikipedia, if you look up a planet in like the info column on the right side of your screen, it will actually tell you which quadrant of the galaxy map that planet is located in. However, those coordinates were for an old galaxy map that is no longer up to date. So they're going to have to go through every single planet, and they will. They will. The StarWars.com databank, while has a ton of entries. I think it's sitting a little over 2,000 entries right now. It's great, but it is nothing compared to the Star Wars Wiki. The folks over the Star Wars Wiki, I mean, just the sheer manpower involved in getting all that data, the Star Wars staff cannot hold a candle to them. They can't. And each and every log entry has canon information and legends information, which makes it really helpful trying to find stuff. One of the things I found is that I thought it was a mistake. And I actually read through their original post and I was like, oh, okay, it's not actually a conspiracy. But the planet Manan, which is one of the planets you visit in KOTOR, is not present on the new galaxy map. But what they put a disclaimer in and they say, we're going to continue updating this. And it's like, okay, so they just haven't put it in yet. Because Selkath were actually introduced back into canon in the Clone Wars when a Selkath bounty hunter, I think, tries to kill, it's either Anakin, Obi-Wan, or Ahsoka, because, they're the main characters. But, they're flying around Coruscant, and you see, the big shark-faced guy with, the flat bill and the little flappy flaps on each side. Yeah, it's a Selkath. Two other notable things about the star map, and I will be done so soon. Two notable examples of Star Wars actually changes the names of planets, and I think it happens more often than we realize. Because just in the research of this series, I found two. One of them is Rakata Prime / Lehan. That is the planet that is nearest the Starforge, and I think the Rakata actually build the Starforge. Maybe I'm not 100%. Yeah, that's right.
Yes, the Rakata Empire. Rakatan Empire. Rakatan?
The ricotta.
The Rakata Empire. The Italians built the Starforge.
We are going to make so much bucatini with the Starforge.
Again, looking at our YouTube analytics, I'm like, not a lot of people are sticking by this far into the episode, so the Italians can't be offended by what they don't see. So here we go.
We can say whatever we want. Okay,
No.
Another name change, and I thought this was insane because I actually searched by name Korriban into the databank, and not a single entry came up, which, first off, is insane. It's insane. It has a sort of reasonable explanation. I still think it's stupid. Korriban was actually renamed Moraband at some point, and I don't know where. I think it was part of the Old Republic. That seems right because a bunch of stuff happens in the Old Republic MMO that I didn't really play because I didn't think it was fun. That's going to get some people riled up right there. But out of all the Star Wars games, I was like, this is not the best one. I'm not going to spend my time playing something I don't like. And even if it's Star Wars, I couldn't do it. If you know where the name Moraband originally came from, let us know in the comments.
With that, folks, we're going to get into our main story. We are picking up onto the planet Kashyyyk, where Revan and our party are journeying. Now, before we go into this, I wanted to say somebody in our comments on our shorts mentioned that they are just now playing KOTOR for the first time. And they asked me the most heartwarming question of, when do I get Revan in my party?
Oh, that's so sweet. That warms my heart. I heard Revan was... You didn't spoil it, did you?
No, I said, you need to keep playing. I'm not going to spoil this for you.
Oh my gosh. That is so special. That's so cool. That is such...
I feel like I saw a moth or a butterfly emerging from its chrysalis after a metamorphosis. It just felt like I watched an angel get its wings or some weird something. I was like,
I think you did.
This is the year 2025. this game could be drinking if it was a person. Like, how are you just now playing this? And how are you a Star Wars fan and you avoided this much lore, but you're a deep enough Star Wars fan to know that KOTOR is a fun game to play for the first time?
Maybe, and this is a total guess, maybe they're not as crazy as Star Wars fans as we are, because we're insane.
Impossible.
Actually, we're normal. My mom said I was normal. Dude, nothing
no.
about us is normal.
Yep.
Other than the fact that, like, I don't even know. I can't think of anything about me that's, like, normal. I have to duck to get into my house. I'm in the 99th percentile of, like, height and weight for men my age. Like,
top of the bracket, son.
Top of the bracket. Feels good to be number one. Hoo, hoo. Sir, that's a weird way of saying you're almost diabetic. I'm not, actually. My A1C is perfect. Which
Sick.
is weird, because I'm pretty fat. Kind of fat.
Just because I got a big back doesn't mean I got the big shug. It's fine.
The big shug. Oh, no.
Where my sweet homies at?
Where my little sweetie pie's at.
All right, let's hop back in. Sorry, I just had to share that special little fun fact with us, and I'm sure I have fun facts written throughout here as well. So we'll dive right in. Kashyyyk itself is super interesting, and the fact that you essentially can only explore the shadows really downplay how awesome this planet is. The Wookiees were so strong as a species that, tragically, they became the target of slavers and hunters. The Empire used a massive portion of their population as labor for the Death Stars, and the Trandoshans have hunted them for sport because those freaky little lizards are hella evil.
During the High Republic, Kashyyyk and the Wookiee Jedis were instrumental in stopping the galaxy-spanning pandemic known as the Blight. During the Clone Wars, the Wookiees were radically loyal to the Jedi, and their bravery led to the defeat of the Separatists on their planet and the eventual absconsion of Grandmaster Yoda from the grips of those treacherous clones. Actually, the more we get more and more lore about Order 66, it just makes me so sad. I'm like, they didn't deserve this. This is not what 99 died for.
There is so much about the clones turning that absolutely breaks my heart, because there's no force so pure and so, what is the word I am looking for, abused than the clones in Star Wars. Because they're everyone's favorite. They've got great personalities. They're written super well. They're super heroic. And the Republic just treats them like trash. And then Sidious is like, hey, by the way, y'all have brain chips. Say goodbye to your free will, mother. Like, it's bad.
In the Galactic Civil War, Saw Gerrera goes to Kashyyyk and fights the Empire there as well. In Legends, Chewbacca even harbors Leia as they are being hunted down by the Nogri, which is another enslaved race that the Empire used for their own core of these, like, hyper-loyal assassins. The source for that is the books Heir to the Empire, Dark Force Rising, and The Last Command. Read a book! Notable Wookiees amongst the Jedi include Gungi, Kelnaka, and Burryaga, who is my personal favorite. It should be noted that it's considered quote-unquote rare for Wookiees to be Force-sensitive, which I think is a little weird for a couple reasons. Statistically speaking, there are fewer Wookiees than humans. Like, humans are the primary race that's represented in the Jedi Order. Therefore, because there are fewer Wookiees in general, just in the galaxy at large, there are fewer Wookiee Jedi. I think based on their galactic populations weighted against their representation in the Jedi Order, I bet most species are considered rare. But I think if you actually, like, weight it, I think it probably is normal. If Wookiees are 1% of the galactic population and Wookiees represent 1% of the Jedi Order, that's spot on, right?
It's expected.
That's expected. Plus or minus a certain amount. Second, Wookiees are famous for their culture being so harmonious with nature and their ecosystem. Their deep ties to nature seem like they would actually be more force sensitive than most species. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. That's just my opinion.
They're very well connected with the trees.
Very much so. Wookiees are fiercely intelligent, but their deep regard for nature means that their infrastructure and technology is integrated with their environment, not bulldozed over it. A loss of even a single of their massive Rocher trees is a horrible loss to the community. Their weapons play to their own strengths. Their architecture lives within the Rocher trees themselves, and their vehicles take a lot of influence from the fauna of Kashyyyk.
It is the most beautiful planet in Star Wars and features more biodiversity than any other explored world. We'd mentioned in a previous episode that a lot of planets are monobiomic. I think I said that right. Or contain a single biome. I'm getting the thumbs up. Fantastic. Nailed it. I am not a super... come on. I'm not a super smart person.
Sorry, I wrote this in the first person.
I'm reading Andrew's note here. He says, I'm not a smart person, but due to the spherical nature of the planet, it would have been a pretty unstable wobble for any planet to have equal sunlight, and therefore kind of the same biome all over. It just doesn't really make sense. Kashyyyk, however, seems to feature more biomes than we have seen on other planets, including the evergreen-type forests featured in Knights of the Old Republic and Republic Commando, the swamp-ish biome from Jedi Survivor, and the sprawling beaches from Revenge of the Sith and Battlefront 2. There are quite a few games that feature this planet in particular, probably due to its massive scale. Everything's bigger on Kashyyyk. Suck it, Texas. These games don't feature Kashyyyk, are cowards. Render every single one of those trees. We start our introduction into the Revan story by Into the Shadowlands. That's kind of what this part of the story is labeled. The next planet is Kashyyyk. They're on their way there. Revan has another brain blast, to put it a different way. All my Jimmy Neutron fans, take your ibuprofen. Basically sees...
Jimmy's mom home?
Stop. Oh my God. Oh no. So Revan has a brain blast from the past and sees the star map on the forest floor. So he's like, cool, I'm dialed in, I'm locked in, I know where we need to go, ish. I know the rough area. This is also at the time that Revan has a very bright idea, which we don't blame him for. But you get quickly surprised. He's like, why don't I bring Zalbar with me? He is a Wookiee after all. Why not bring your Wookiee friend with you to talk to the Wookiees?
Makes sense to me.
Yep. After landing on the docks just before they depart for their adventure, which you have to pay off the Zerka Corporation for to land there, which if you guys don't know, Zerka is basically a slave corporation at this point. Super not chill, not okay with them. Zalbar exits the ship and casually tells Revan, hey, we should pause for a minute. I was exiled from this planet 20 years ago, and you're like, how am I supposed to deal with that? In his defense, Zalbar found out that his brother was working with the Zerka Corporation, the slavers, to establish an illicit business on the planet. In a rage, Zalbar attacked with claws out, which is considered very dishonorable by the Wookiees, and was branded a Mad Claw when he attacked his brother. Boom! New Star Wars slur. Add it to the list.
All right, so that list includes Mad Claw, Nerf Herder, Fat Ugly Fearfeck, that's one of my favorites, Son of a Hutt, Sith Spawn, Clanker, Rebel Scum, or, if I missed any, post them in the comments below, because Star Wars slurs, they're so hot right now.
Star Wars slurs are so hot right now. To add to the hurt, Zalbar was not believed. I guess people don't want to believe women or Wookiees now. That's cool. He told his father about his brother's dealings, and his father did not actually take his word. Instead, Zalbar received his punishment in the form of exile.
Revan and Zalbar make their way down the canopies toward the forest floor, encountering some dangerous creatures along the way. There's kind of a reason the Wookiees build their homes up high. They ran into a Wookiee guard there who was not stoked to see Big Z and insisted that they go see the chieftain instead. It's okay, Tattletale. He's a tattle. He's a tattler.
He's a snitch.
On their way to Zalbar's home village, they run into more Dark Jedi. You know, the guys who are chasing you around and trying to hunt you down. These are the disciples of Darth Malak. And they're also the most ineffective assassins on this side of the Hydian Way. They get ganked, of course. I don't know about you. I got so excited whenever you get ambushed because you're like, oh, good, more lightsabers to add to my collection.
Oh, yeah, we all become General Grievous in this moment, and they're like, so I'm going to need everybody on the light side to look away really quick because we're about to butcher these guys. Am I right?
I mean, when we first saw General Grievous in Tartovsky's Clone Wars, and he takes the lightsabers and puts them in his cloak, collectively as a society, we all said, that is the coolest thing I've ever seen. I'm going to do that.
I feel like that definitely did not come from the mind of Lucas. That definitely came from somebody else. And they're like, what would I do if I hunted Jedi? And then they came up with a super cool idea that was actually really original.
Well, and it was so weird because we had never heard of General Grievous before. He was designed and built for the third movie, which had not come out yet. And then they're like, oh, hey, we need you to introduce this character to our audiences, by the way. Make him up. And he is the most badass character we see in honestly, the entire 2000s, as far as like Star Wars characters go, you can make an argument for like Dirge was pretty cool too. But
Dirge was so cool.
But Genndy Tartakovsky's General Grievous is one of the coolest Star Wars characters ever. Back to our actual topic for the day. Back to Revan and Big Z. They make it to the village and they find that Chundar, Zalbar's brother, is now chieftain. This is the guy who was the slaver, who helped the slavers, right?
Yes, he's the reason Zalbar got exiled in the first place, because Chundar is working with the Zerka Corporation to establish a slaving operation of his own people.
So this is what power does to people. It corrupts people, absolutely. I forgot about that. That makes me really sad.
Yeah, dude, this whole Kashyyyk arc is kind of traumatic and has a lot of family trauma in it, and you're like, God, I hope none of these people had to deal with any of this. The most common type of trauma ever. Bye.
Okay, so from here, Chundar then takes Zalbar hostage to force Revan to play his schemes. There was a mad claw in the Shadowlands that needed to be put down, and he put Revan to task for it. Because again, you can't let these wild, crazy Wookiees run around all hysterical and whatnot, trying to vote. Wait, I got my wires crossed.
You actually, not that much. Under this dark task, Revan gained access to the Shadowlands. That Wookiee they saw earlier was like, oh yeah, you can go down now, because the dirty exile's not with you anymore. After fighting off what more... Sorry, I love Big Z, huge fan. That was from his perspective, not mine. After fighting off even more native creatures trying to tear Revan limb from limb while down in the Shadowlands, Revan notices a Jedi Knight fighting off 4 Katarn lizards, spelled exactly like Kyle Katarn, by the way. Not entirely sure why that's there, but Star Wars has a lot of things written where names start to show up a little bit. I mean, we had a Fortuna in the last episode, so things all come around. This, in fact, was Jolee Bindo, Old Man of the Forest. Jolee is trying to get the poachers out of the Shadowlands and recruits Revan's help. The deal is that if Revan helps Jolee will help Revan get rid of the walls that are in the way of getting to the star map. So sorry if that spiked. That was just came off the top of my dome.
Something just came over me.
Revan deals with the Zerka scum and is able to venture back into the Shadowlands. The paths themselves are blocked by repulsor fields. That's the fields Jolee was referring to, and Jolee is able to temporarily shut them down so the group can get by.
Actually, it seems like Jolee's actually damaging Zerka property, and that's environmental terrorism. Yeah, so...
And I'll do it again.
I'll do it again. Also, I'm going to recruit you. Thank you. Once past, the group runs into Mandalorians. Of course, they have to die. Because you're Revan, the Butcher. Didn't I conquer you? Didn't I put you in your place? The Mandalorians are terrorizing Wookiees by using stealth fields and killing them. That's not a very honorable way.
They do not get a break.
Oh gosh, the Wookiees are so... It makes me sad. Okay, they get dealt with, and the party continues on, and it is the next point that the Mad Claw reveals himself, and the group must defend themselves. Thankfully, Jolee is here to kind of broker the peace. Jolee has very strong old man yells at clouds vibes, but he is also a peacemaker. And if I kill everyone else, there will be peace, like DC's peacemaker. Can't have a war if everyone's dead. He stops the fight and realizes that the quote-unquote Mad Claw isn't actually a crazy Wookiee, but a friend and Zalbar's father, Freyr. Fraser, Mon Freyr. I hear the blues are calling, toss salad and scratch. Sorry, it's a Seattle tick. Like, you can't... Okay, so...
Not all of us have that tick, brother.
I do. Freyr the Wookiee had been attacked by Chundar a year after Zalbar was exiled and was essentially exiled as well into the Shadowlands. Not like a full exile, but ousted from the community. Like, getting exiled to the Shadowlands is a death sentence. It's crazy dangerous down there, but Freyr...
It's slow exile.
Yeah, it's slow execution by exile to a very dangerous land. Freyr then sought Revan's help for a little Wookiee coup, you could say. There was a sword that Freyr needed to challenge Chundar's rule. We know a lot about special magic swords that give you the right to rule, don't we, Star Wars fans?
The Darksaber gives me the right. Yeah, there it is. So just so we're clear, again, we talked in the last episode how the writing of a game that came out, 22 years ago? It came out in 2003, right? A game that came out 22 years ago doesn't have the best writing. If we are expected to think that this is a death sentence for Freyr, and he attacked Chundar a year after Zalbar was exiled, he's been in the Shadowlands for 19 years. Because Zalbar is like, hey, I got exiled 20 years ago, and 20 minus 1 is 19. So, super bad run of all of it. But also, Wookiees are super resourceful. Like, they're like, yeah, we've had to survive down here before. Why wouldn't we be able to do it again? So, all that fun
Surviving and
stuff.
thriving.
Barely, I guess. So finally, Chundar's, I guess finally I got somebody to go kill him. None of us want to do it, so he's just been running around down there. So, and it's the reason he's a problem is because he's making problems for Zerka, not for him. So, kind of terrible. He probably forgot about him for 18 years, and then Zerka showed up, and they were like, we need to move into the Shadowlands, and there's a crazy Wookiee down there. What slur do you guys use? Mad Clock? Cool. Writing that down for the boys.
There must be space oil down in the Shadowlands.
Yeah, pretty much. So let's talk about this really quick. What is up with Star Wars and ceremonial swords? Like, everyone needs a super special sword to be the super special boss, I guess. This blade in question is the Blade of Baka, which is going to be stuck in a great beast, which we mentioned in our first portion of the Revan series, a Tarentatech. We're not just going to pass by the retroactive namesake of Chewie, by the way, at all. It's break time. So, who is Baka? Taking a little lore break here. Known as the Great Baka, was a Wookiee warrior who lived for centuries before the old Sith Wars, which is the timeline we are in essentially right now. They're not the old Sith Wars, they're the current Sith Wars. He was a legend in Wookiee lore and crafted a ceremonial sword that was an icon of leadership for our furry friends. His name meant ally or friend in Shriwook. The blade itself was made from wreckage of a crashed starship, which, fun fact, was the Wookiees' species' first contact with life outside the planet. So that was the first time they experienced something outside of their planet. It crashed down, and he's like, I better make a sword out of it. And that's where we got Baka's blade.
Yeah, I wonder if there's like an old English parable about taking a sword out of something really difficult to get a sword out of and then getting the right to rule. I don't know. Maybe I'm just imagining things.
Crazy talk.
That blade would get passed down generation to generation as a symbol of leadership until it reached a Wookiee chieftain, Rothrar, who went into ritual combat with a Tarentatech and broke the blade off in the beast's flesh, leaving only the hilt. Back to our story, Revan and the crew needed to find the great beast and kill this bad boy. They kill some creatures to use as bait to lure out the Tarentatech. Now, at this point, you may be asking, so they blew it up, right? Because that's what we've done to every other large creature? No, in fact, we did not. No, for some reason, they didn't blow this one up. I don't really know why. Instead, they fight it in close combat, and it's kind of a hard fight. If you're not...
It's a really hard fight. If you have not spec'd into combat, you're done.
Yeah. Have you been taking your vitamins and doing your side quests? There's no way you can do this on your own.
Jolie, nope. I'm going to need you to spam that heal button as many times as possible.
Do not let up on that heal. Thank you. Instead, they fight it in close combat. The monster who eats Jedi and drinks their blood, and they decided to get real close. Smart move, gents.
That was a really, I really loved the creative direction of that little move right there. That was fantastic. The beast is slain and the blade is secure. Freyr Tuck now has the relic he needs to challenge Chundar's role and remove the poison from their clan. Before the party made its way out of the Shadowlands, Revan finds the next star map and gains the information he needs to move on to his next destination. Upon returning to Chundar, the others, accompanied now by Freyr, made this move to take back the throne. Zalbar begged his family not to fight. Sounds like a pretty reasonable thing. Like, hey guys, please don't kill each other. Remember, we're all related. And in the stillness afterwards, Freyr and Revan actually agreed. They're like, yeah, not fighting sounds nice. Now keep in mind, Revan and his party are the only non-humans here, surrounded by Wookiees. Revan is really good at killing Mandalorians. Killing Wookiees is a whole different thing. And that becomes a little bit of a problem because Chundar did not agree to the peace and orders his allies to immediately attack the party. Good thing you don't call Reverend the Butcher for nothing. So he kills a lot of them. The guards, the Zerka scum, and Chundar are all cut down. Freyr is restored as chieftain, and the party moves on to their next planet, Manon, which we mentioned earlier in the episode is not on the star map, so it doesn't actually exist now, does it? Tune in next time for Conspiracy Theory Hour. But I'm sure that there's no psychological damage on Zalbar, seeing his father exiled, returned to find his brother, a slaver, killed, all in the span of, what, a few days? Sorry, Big Z.
Question for you. Is the star map located right after you slay the Tarantatech?
Yes.
Because you find the star map, and then you have to go back up and settle unfinished business with all of the Wookiees who can actually see the sun.
Correct.
Man, the Shadowlands would be so scary. They'd be so scary. A place that's just like in everlasting night, no matter.
With a lot of things that want to eat your flesh off your bones.
One other thing we wanted to talk about this episode was a quick reaction to the Mando trailer. Guys, a trailer or a teaser trailer for Mandalorian and Grogu is out. Dude, guys, we're getting Star Wars on the big screen again. It's happening.
It's happening. I did repost that trailer over on TikTok, so you guys will see the official Star Wars trailer for that over there. Make sure you guys follow us there. You'll get it.
Nathan, what were some of your favorite parts about the Mandalorian trailer?
So I think one of the things that stuck with me the most was I saw a couple of different things. Seeing Zeb bounce off the walls was amazing. I immediately told one of my coworkers. He killed that guy real good.
He's dead.
I told one of my coworkers, I was like, hey, Sigourney Weaver's back. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. And that Hulk of a Hutt in the fighting ring, dude, he's jacked. I'm sorry, you're going to have to bleep that. But I was like, oh, look at those guns.
Oh my gosh. They talk about Wookiees who like to rip the arms off of things. Dude, that Hutt, which is allegedly Rota the Hutt, Jabba's son, could rip the engines off of a starship. He's so big. He's a jacked king.
It makes sense seeing him. You're like, oh, the Hutts can be super strong. It makes sense knowing that the Hutts basically conquered a huge portion of space because they were like, hey, other people are willing to work for us because historically we're not the only species that rips people's arms off. Looking at you, Wookiees, what's up? Like, oh my gosh, I think Rada the Hutt could fight a Wookiee pretty handily and, like, take him down.
I think it wouldn't even be close. I mean, you even look at the star map, the official star map for the Star Wars universe, and the Hutts are one of the few species that have their own portion of space carved out, and it's not a small portion. The Bothans do as well, but other than that, it's just Hutt space. Like, it's a lot of space. So we know by reading the books that in the quote-unquote unknown regions, there's like a whole bunch of stuff going on. And it's like, that's where the Chiss ascendancy is. And that's probably what makes up a lot of the unknown regions is an entire empire-ish. And I don't really know what form of government the Chiss ascendancy is supposed to be. But
it's an ascendancy. Duh.
Oh, yeah, duh. That would be like saying it's like you don't understand.
Go back
what
to AP Gov, loser.
I got a C in that class. Okay, I
didn't even pass the AP test. Don't worry about it.
I didn't either. I passed the stats one, and that's what mattered for me in the end. Did you not pass the stats test?
Nope. Didn't pass a single AP test I took. Ooh. Nailed it.
Did you take AP English as well?
Nope.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Yeah, I'm not taking AP Lit. Ugh.
Even though we
books
love
are gross.
No,
don't
listen to him.
Don't make me read.
No. Books are good.
No, we love books.
So some other things that I thought were really interesting. The first thing I noticed, which also happened to be like the first scene they put in, is the Razor Crest is back. I'm so happy.
I noticed that too. I was like, where, why? And it's got like a yellow late racing stripe or something on it. Looks super cool. Very clean. It
had some paint on it in Mando, but like it was pretty dinged up. So I'm pretty happy that I'm assuming this is not a rebuild of his ship because, dude, it gets atomized. It's gone. It gone. No, he probably picks up a new model of the same ship. Maybe he calls it the Razor Crest 2. I wonder if he even gives it a new name. But I mean, it's probably going to be Razor Crest. I don't know. He could call it the Wayward Traveler. It's not super violent. Razor Crest is
It's
like,
not
I'm
even
gonna cut
weapon
you.
adjacent.
It's not. He could call it the Beskar Meteor.
No, swing and a miss.
The Beskar Comet. The Flying Bung Shack.
The Flying Dutchman.
Oh, of course, the Flying Dutchman. Some other things I really noticed that were that I thought was interesting. It just says Sigourney Weaver 10,000 times. Yeah, Sigourney Weaver's in this. That's cool. Yay!
The internet loved this.
Yay! But I mean, there's rumors going around that the AT-AT we see in the trailer was a practical AT-AT. I don't know how much of that is Siege and how much of it isn't. So we'll see. I'm excited to see not only the movie, but I'm excited to see more trailers. I'm excited to see when we're going to get a release date. If you guys want to hear when that's going to be, make sure to like and sub if you are still at this point in the video. Also, aren't you a cute little cutie pie for sticking around? Thank you. You didn't like that?
It's not really the vibe we're cultivating here, bro.
You're pretty. Thank you. You got a pretty mouth.
Nope, don't. No. Can't say that to people. Where's the HR? Somebody call HR. We don't have
Somebody
an
get the
HR.
spray bottle.
Just a spray bottle with HR written on it. I could put a label on my...
No.
I could put a label on my dog's spray bottle that says HR. We might need to start introducing props to the show. With that, brother, I'm going to take us out because I know this is going to take you 1.5 years to edit. Huge thanks to all of our patrons, Mike, Isaac, David. Super thank you for supporting us. English good. Nailed it. Bam. Guys, you can support us by funding us on Patreon and giving us money. Literally, it supports the podcast. It supports all the things we do. And this is not free to do. So all of you who are listening for free and not giving any money, you should do that. I understand if you can't, though. So if you can't, watch our videos on YouTube and interact with them. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. Follow us on social media. Like the Galactic Empire, we are everywhere. And with that... may the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you. May the Force be with you.
Stop it. May the Force be with you. May the Force be with me.
It's the Forciest.